What is going on, everyone, and welcome to my review of Priscilla, the latest film directed by Sofia Coppola, and it stars Kaylee Spaney as Priscilla and Jacob Elordi as Elvis. And this film follows Priscilla. Of course it follows Priscilla. The fucking movie's called Priscilla, Jesus Christ. So yeah, plot synopsis, I don't know how to say it because it's kind of like, there's not really a plot. It's just an insight into the unseen side of Elvis and Priscilla's relationship. So I've only seen one other Sofia Coppola film other than Priscilla, and that was The Virgin Suicides. Well crafted, like well done, it's fine. Well acted, it's just not for me. It's not a film that I can relate to in any way. And I just think it's very patiently directed, but I think it ends up kind of going into more of a tedious kind of slow burn rather than an actual, real invigorating one. It's kind of a bit more monotonous and just like, you're rolling through the motions a bit. I did not have the same problems with Priscilla. I loved this movie. I loved it. This film really does an amazing job at just painting Elvis and Priscilla's relationship in a light that you just never really would have thought of. And I certainly walked out with my eyes opened. Like Elvis from 2022, this film really just does a brilliant job at painting a picture on who Priscilla was, or still is. She's still alive. Who Priscilla Presley or Priscilla Bolio is. And the thing that held Virgin Suicides back for me really worked for me in this film, and that is just how patiently directed this film is. Sofia Coppola really just lets the film breathe. It lets you understand the characters and see who they really are. It never feels like it's rushing anything, but it also never feels like it's getting too slow. For example, there is one scene in this film when Priscilla arrives at Graceland and she's sitting on the couch and she slowly starts to straighten her back a bit and cross her legs and just sit up a little bit differently to how she might usually. She's going from this kind of suburban life to this giant glamorous mansion on this estate, and she's just slowly changing as a person. And the fact that it just lingers on her, getting used to what she's expected to do and how she should look and how she should behave, when in actuality, she's just still a child. It's really masterful stuff. You really feel it. Priscilla is played by Kaylee Spaney, I believe is how you say her name. And she's just fantastic. I think she does perfectly. Really. She doesn't have a lot of dialogue, but just in her body, the way she moves, the way she's always just on the outskirts of things. Even with the wedding, there's when the Elvis and Priscilla are getting married, it starts on Priscilla's face and she's kind of just looking around like she's not really sure what she doesn't look fully in place. And the film's about Priscilla, so it obviously starts on her face, but as it zooms out, she's slowly just the one in the corner while Elvis is standing there getting all the attention. She's just brilliant. And one other thing that she does great as well is she really sells her love for Elvis. So despite the age gap being weird and fucking disgusting, her love is so genuine that it makes you kind of forget that she's a 15-year-old girl. She really does get along with him. And vice versa as well. Jacob Elordi does a great job as Elvis. He's very sincere and very genuine when talking to Priscilla, and he doesn't want to do anything to her because she's so young. But they really do have a connection, and that makes the age gap a bit easier to stomach. And as Sofia Coppola has obviously done with The Virgin Suicides, and here again, the patience of her directing allows the audience to make their minds up about the relationship between Priscilla and Elvis and the weirdness of the situation. It's never preaching to you. It's never saying anything oh, how disgusting is this? This is just a child grooming monster. Never, ever goes there. It lets you decide, and it lets you see these two people that love each other very, very much, but you're still aware of the weirdness of it. It's brilliantly directed. And as I already mentioned before, Jacob Elordi as Elvis is fantastic. There is something so tragic about his slow descent that Austin Butler captured very, very well as well. I don't think Jacob Elordi is as good as Austin Butler, but he's damn near as good. And it's just the tragedy of the surroundings. Constantly being surrounded by money and glamour and just love from people, it ends up taking a toll on him, and he loses grip on reality and what it's like to be an actual person and what you should expect of other people. At one stage, he actually tells Priscilla to cancel all her plans just in case he calls. And there are other parts when they're trying to change the script on him when he's trying to do his movies, and he doesn't like it. He's like, he says all hell's broke loose, when it's just like they're trying to adjust the script a bit so they can have duets in the musical instead of just him singing, because he's used to it just being him being the star of, or the king of rock and roll. And Sofia Coppola does this brilliantly because she never condemns Elvis. She never says, look at how much of a bad person he was. It's just the constant love for him and adoration that he's receiving ends up turning him slowly but surely into a monster. And Priscilla, the film, never ever loses sight of the fact that it's about Priscilla. It's about how Elvis's surroundings transform him into something that is irredeemable, basically. Like, you can never get him back to normal. But the film makes sure it's Priscilla. You're seeing how this all affects Priscilla. You're seeing how it affects Elvis, but how Priscilla is still the center of the show, which is a brilliant balancing act. It definitely criticizes Elvis's behavior, but it really just paints it out to be like a tragic fairy tale where he just loses it, he can't take it anymore, and it eventually takes a toll on Priscilla and her child. And I seriously think that this might end up being my favorite film of the year, because this film is perfect in every way. I truly believe it. There is nothing about this film that I don't love. I find it to be spectacular, and it's so tragic. Like, and how the film ends, like, obviously it's Elvis Presley, you know his life, but just without spoilers, because like just in case, it's so unbelievably heart-wrenching but liberating. I think this film is brilliant, and I love the smallest of details, the way Priscilla sits down, the way she's expected to sit, the way she's expected to dress, the way the entire film, Priscilla is almost always obscured by a shadow. Like, even if she's standing in front of a window, the sun's gleaming in, but she's just like a dark shadow. She's always in the corner. It's brilliant. It is brilliant. I love this film so much. And I am going to give Priscilla 5 stars. Guys, thank you so much for watching my review of Priscilla. If you like movies, then watch this movie, because it's so good. It's so good. It is brilliant. Anyway, I'll see you all later. Bye.